Welcome to the Beard Mean That Beer podcast. I'm David.
I'm Sam.
And welcome to episode number 40. 40.
It's a lot now. It's getting up there.
40 is a lot. One per week for the last 40 weeks. That seems like a terrible waste of time. Anyways, this is work discussion part 2 from the printdiscuss.com series. I love these questions.
Because there's no research. We just give our feedback.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best part. We're genuine.
Genuine.
You don't know Genuine? Genuine? From Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
She doesn't know Genuine?
I was talking about the singer, but okay.
Yeah, no, it's the same thing.
Yeah. No, never mind. Just go.
Okay. And this week, I believe we have had Wild Barrel on, but Sam chose this can for obvious reasons.
No. I just thought I like the colors.
Oops.
And broken.
I did dent the can. I won't drink that now. Yeah, it's called Next Level Hazy Juicy IPA Dry Hop with Galaxy, Simcoe, and L'Oreal, which I don't think I've ever had that kind of hop.
L'Oreal?
L'Oreal?
It's like hair product in
It's
here?
not spelled like that.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe it's hops. 7.8%. And Wild Barrel up in San Marcos. Relatively young brewery, 2016.
Relatively new.
Young.
Young sounds... That's like to describe a person.
It's a thing. I mean...
Okay.
The team is young.
Our word short. So it's like a bunch of preteens?
Like organization. It's a young organization.
It's just we pick different words.
No.
I say new.
No. No, you're
Continue.
You're fucking wrong. But yeah, up in San Marcos, they have probably one of the best sour selection of beers. But this is not sour. But they do have some really delicious sours.
But it is juicy.
And this is juicy. It's a juicy hazy. I'm trying to navigate their... I'll just read their first little tidbit. Wild Barrel Brewing Company was first conceived by two friends, Bill Zysak and Chris White, in 2016. One evening while enjoying a cigar and a great craft beer. Bill Sobeski, an award-winning home brewer of 25 years and longtime friend of Bill Zysak, was brought on board to brew the beer. And the three friends and founders began the process of opening a brewery in San Diego, the craft beer capital of America.
Okay.
Now I know Bill Zysak. He was my teacher from that class I took. And he has a palate.
Now, is this the one that you learned that...
Yeah, how to do the beer tasting, which we never did again.
I'm sure he's a cool guy.
We don't use cups anymore. Because safety.
I'm sure he's a cool guy, but that sounds obnoxious still.
I mean, it works. You do taste different things.
But
he has a large knowledge of how things taste. Or
wait, what did it say? He had 25 years.
No, that's the brewer.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure he has a lot.
Bill said he had been drinking beer since he was a teen.
Since he was a child.
But his dad was like, okay, if you're going to drink beer, you're going to drink beer the right way. So he would try different beers with his dad every week.
That sounds irresponsible.
I mean, you can legally do that right now as long as you're with your parent in your home.
Who said that?
That's the law, California.
Show me.
Google it.
No. You show me, or I don't believe.
Yeah, I think underage drinking is allowed if you're at home and you're with your parents.
Well, yeah, because nobody knows except the government.
Yeah, your phone
with the cameras and the Alexas and the smartwatches and the.
I love it when stupid anti-vax. There's chips in the 5G. Bro, in your pocket you have something that the government knows where you are at all times. Don't act like a fucking vaccine has a fucking chip in it.
But I wrap my phone in aluminum foil.
But on Facebook it said. You dumb fuck. Anyways, Wild Barrel, let's try it. Next Level Hazy Juicy IPA, 7.8%. I have a towel just in case.
Your towel.
Well, you're a Mexican.
Oh my gosh. I mean, like, I could say that to you. I'm not Mexican. Maybe. I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know. Philippines,
Spanish, Mexican, yeah,
questionable.
Damn Spanish. Interesting. Not as juicy as I thought.
There's like hints.
In a texture way. Doesn't feel juicy.
There's like hints of juice, but it's kind of dank a little bit.
I would say juicy is pretty dank sometimes, and then I would say Simcoe can be a little danky. Laurel, I think, is the one that's maybe I'm not used to it.
What is Laurel?
I don't know. It's a hop. It's a name of a hop. I don't know why they name it.
I mean, how do you differentiate between hops? Do they add like different
It's
flavor?
like marijuana. It's like
I don't know anything about marijuana.
Okay.
Speak to me like a child, David.
Peppers.
Yes.
You know, there's different kinds of it.
Yeah.
Just like that. It's a plant. There's going to be different variations of it.
Okay.
Apples, green, orange, red. Different ones grow in different areas.
It's like they're the same but different.
but the same.
Thank you.
It's like the human race, the human species, but different races.
Interesting.
Guess what? It's all the same.
All right. Well,
I think it's pretty refreshing, actually.
Yeah,
I think I expected it to be more juicy because hazy and juicy should be this giant thing of orange juice to me. But there's no citrus. Maybe that's what I'm kind of catching me off.
I think the first sip I was a little underwhelmed, but it's like it seems like every recurring sip after it's gotten a little better.
7.8%.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
it tastes
this tastes. I think people would like that, but then you gotta be careful.
I was like, it tastes like a 4 or something.
It really
like
does.
that.
It really tastes like a light beer. It tastes like not like a light beer, but like alcohol level.
Yeah, it just tastes like it tastes like a strong sparkling water almost.
I wouldn't
like
go sparkling water, but I can see like
it's kind of got like that
a
quality
carbonated
to it.
cocktail, without the sugar kind of overbearing sugar part.
It definitely tastes like beer towards the end of it, though. So
The burp tastes good.
Ew. Bite back your burp, sir. Wow, you went that whole time. You didn't even comment on the lady.
I before we started, I was like, why does it called Next Level and it's some kind of cartoon female?
There's a
great hair.
There's a young woman on here.
She's winking with a thumbs up in a yellow dress. I'm sure she's someone.
I don't
it's
know.
based off someone.
Yeah.
I do
It's
like
a
the
portrait.
background a lot. The colors are good. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know Next Level. Why?
I don't understand. I don't know. Maybe it's like maybe there's something we're missing here. But tastes good.
Yeah, inside joke probably. Yeah, I like it.
I give this a pass.
I
With this
think
new rating system I just made right now.
pass or fail with Sam.
Yeah, this is the best beer ever, as opposed to worst beer ever. So
No middle.
No middle.
Just it's the best.
the best
or
of the worst. If I'm lukewarm, it's nothing.
It should have never drank it. Okay, work part 2. We're talking work. Yeah, and last week we did the pre-warm-up question, and we did 10. So we're starting on question 11, and you guys can find this at printdiscuss.com. Work. And are there any jobs you think are not paid enough? Why doesn't society value those workers highly enough? We didn't do this question.
Are you sure?
Because I would have said teachers.
Well, it's true.
Public school teachers are not paid enough, especially with the amount of requirements to be a fucking teacher. Mm-hmm. And it is different in different states. California has a ridiculous fucking requirement. You have to go get a master's in teaching and have a degree in your field. So there are high standards to that. That's great, but then apply that to the payment that people should be making. Mm-hmm. I saw a meme. It was like, there is no shortage of teachers. There's just a shortage of master level people who want to work for $35,000 a year. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculously low. And then it just, if you're happy with your job, you're going to take care of the client, right? Mm-hmm. If the students are, the client and the teacher's not happy with the job, then why, they're going to be a bad teacher. Take care of your staff. Mm-hmm. Government.
Good points. Making good points. Yeah, no, definitely. I would say teachers are for sure underpaid for the amount of actual work they do, and like, so it's weird because they're like they are a major influence on young minds, and they also
Like, why would you not want them to be good?
They're around like
They're around your kids more than you are.
I was gonna say, it's like, like they're not even like, I don't know, they're not even the kids' parents, and they're there for like a large chunk of like any given day, and like, that's
almost
a lot of
more influence.
A lot of
too.
influence, yeah. I don't know. That's
teachers,
that's a good point.
and the jump from like public high school, elementary to public university to private, it's like a giant.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm always like, private university, private schools, should those be actually allowed? Just because it's not fair to people without money.
Well, I mean, like, it's like a private institution, isn't it?
It's a business, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like, why not?
Well, it's just make it fair to everyone.
Well, then they should boost the public stuff.
Or get rid of the private stuff and everyone goes public.
Well,
then that would be fair.
There's room here for reform.
Yeah, me and Sam should be co-presidents of the world.
Don't put us in charge.
It would be like the Parks and Rec, Ben and what's his name, Chris. You would be Chris and I'd be Ben. It'd just be like,
I feel like this would be a bad idea.
it would be yin and yang. It'd be perfect. It'd be so
We'd
perfect.
like mellow,
you'd be so nice,
balance it,
and I just cut.
You'd be the
Fuck
dictator.
it, yeah. All right, send them to the gulag. Let them fight.
No. Just go sit on a bench for a little bit and then go home.
Don't listen to it.
I'm trying to think. What other professions outside of teach? I think
anything at a grocery store. Anything at a grocery store.
I think most service, like customer service kind of jobs in general.
Anything that happens to do with food, bartending, I think they should go up because, like in other countries, it's like they don't do tips because they make enough, and I think it's ridiculous that like all these restaurants, well, you're going to get the minimum wage, like that's low, that's unlivable.
Well, for one, I mean, minimum wage should just be minimum wage to like get by, which is it
isn't.
Yeah, it's not. But that's touching on a whole other thing.
No, but then it's like, well, if you disagree with raising the minimum wage, then we should have rent control and bring the living wage down. Right. Well, no, we don't want to. No, you're if you don't agree with either one of those, you're a dumb fuck.
I mean, like I for one believe it should be like the minimum wage should be high. The minimum, can't even fucking talk. The minimum wage should be higher so people can afford just like basic living necessity. But I understand that like that's just going to raise the cost of things because if you give people money, then you're like taking money out of the system, which is stupid,
which is designed to
it's just
the very few to be very
so powerful. Unless you have an exorbitant amount of money, there's really like
it starts with greed,
there's no comfortable living, well, because uneven dispersal of money.
Well, just like we're gonna charge this much, why? Well, because the minimum wage, we're like, well, don't charge that much and you continue the system. People will then buy more stuff. Yeah. I know if I had I have a good pay, but if my rent was lower, I'd be fucking putting money into the economy. It would work easier. I would be buying shit.
Right.
More shit.
Right. I don't know. It's kind of
more shit.
This is what you need is more shit.
More shit.
But no, it's kind of There's a lot of nuance to it.
Service people should definitely have more money. I think craft beer industry too. Like, I have numerous times heard that from brewers, like, no one's getting rich from being a brewer, which it's like, it's science. You're like a chemist. I mean, no, you are a chemist. You're fucking doing science to make this beer, and you feel it's experiments. Like, maybe you should get paid more.
Also, all right, I'm gonna make a stance here. I think that it should be like a publicly mandated thing that everybody, regardless of like
should have
a stature or whatever, should have like a minimum of like like 1 year mandatory service job just to learn a little humility, because there are some monsters out
I
there
would
that
go
just
further and say 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, because it takes you a while to get good at being at your service job.
I mean,
just skill wise, because you learn so much at a service job that transfers to every other job in the world, because you're basically a slave to the system. Like it's right in the system we live in, it's like the worst job to have, but we need so much of it. And it's so stupid, but I think 2 years, because you will learn so much about how shitty people are, but then you won't be shitty, and we'll just have a new age group of not shittiness towards your service.
All those awful customers will beat that nonsense out of you with just bullshit.
Yeah.
So it's like, you'll be a better person because of it. And then, it'll be like pay it forward, but like on a grand scale.
Yeah.
Like everyone will be
And
like,
then,
oh, this is what I'm doing to people when I
and
go out.
someone would be like, no, that's bullshit. Let's make robots. And now they're like McDonald's has
then it'll just be like surrogates, and everyone will just be fat at home, and
then
Bruce Willis
living.
movie no one
Then we'll have a living wage.
oh no.
So service and teachers.
Teachers are service. So
Yeah, I would
it's
say
just
that.
generally
It's a
just
different kind of service, but yeah. Strippers.
Well,
their
that is-
system is a little weird.
I mean,
they're like renting.
I don't know enough about that. That's commission.
It's not. It's
It
terrible.
kind of is.
They pay to. It's pay to play, basically.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, because like being musicians.
I was like, that's
being
not
asked
very far removed.
Being musicians, it's like, oh well, if you do this, and this, you could like.
Yeah,
why
'cause
can't
there's-
you just let me play? Who fucking cares?
Because there's no standard set. Yeah, it's weird.
musicians, starting musicians too. Yeah, pay to play is stupid. All right, you want to read number 12?
Number 12. Do you know do you know anyone that was fired from a job? What were the circumstances?
Like, was I there?
All right.
I
Have
guess-
you ever been let go from a job?
Yes.
How was that?
There's a Target summer job. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
Oh, it was seasonal. Well, that doesn't even
Yeah.
count.
I guess like yeah.
Barely counts.
I guess yeah. That was it.
It's the most minute of counting.
Recently, because of COVID, we had to let go of a lot of people. So, we have 35 student workers. We had to let go, which was coming like, and then we had to let go of 4 of our part timers. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 5 of our part timers, 4 of our production part timers, and 1 of our recording part timers. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I haven't really ever been around when someone got fired. Mm-hmm. But I've been like, oh, they got fired. Mm-hmm. Or like they quit or something. Mm-hmm. But not personally where it's like, oh, I was involved with somehow like, oh, did you see them steal this? Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, I haven't.
I mean, like I've been in places where people have been let go, but it's never like a cool story. It's like you can always like tell, like in the weeks leading up, most of the time.
They're just shitty attitude. There's less. Oh, I guess
It's just
kind of So back at my old job, PSAV, I won't say any names, but our boss set the schedule, and there was a part timer there that would just never get any hours for weeks at a time, and then one of our techs, like every night, we had to send out a email to everyone that shows like here's what's set, any notes for the next morning. For the team to come in to like, set up. Oh, we had to do this, and this, or so he sent it to everyone, and this one part timer, but he had replied to everyone via the schedule email, and so it was weird. Like he sent it to a person that didn't have any hours, but didn't know. Just wasn't getting the schedule, and so he like put that email with the schedule and all the notes, and then we didn't really like this person. They just weren't that good, and doing AV, it's like so selfless and like it's a pain in the butt. You just have to do it, but you should be paid more. So then, like, our boss, like, sent out an email that next, like, morning, like, don't ever send it to everyone, because then he fired her. Like,
Oh man.
but he was, like, not giving her hours for, like, 2 months.
Was it just-
like 2 hours here, 4 hours here.
Like just because,
but trying to, like
like phase her out.
He didn't do the right thing. He should have fired her long before,
Rather than
but
just
he
leave them
wasn't
on.
like, he was just like dangling like a little bit, and that's like it. As a boss, you should be able to. You have to, not should you be able to. You have to be able to give the bad news. Mm-hmm. So that was the one time, I think.
So that sounds like almost more like your bosses a bit on that one, rather than
Oh yeah, but that I knew, like, that's what, like,
that was why that
yeah,
was
because
going
I was
that
in
way.
that email, and then he like sent that email out, and I was like, no one ever said anything to the boss, but I was like, you should have just fired her if you like didn't.
Yeah, if it wasn't working out,
Yeah.
you shouldn't just like. Yeah,
And it's a part timer. Like, it sucks, but like they like, there's no legality. Like, you can fire part timers for anything you want. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my story.
yeah. I mean, like,
You got anything? Nothing good.
I mean, like I said, I've been at jobs and they've let people go, but like it's never for like an exciting reason. Like it's never like oh, they were the perfect employee, then they just weren't here anymore.
Yeah.
It's always like you can always tell when a person wants to be there or not.
I think I have more quitting stories than firing stories. I have good quitting story.
I was like, I've seen more interesting
quick
quitting
quitting?
things. Just say it, man. Throw it in. Quitting's
I don't think there is a quitting. So
Pretty
my
close.
best quitting story was when I left PSAV.
was it yours? Was it your quitting?
I
Oh,
quit.
your
Yeah,
quitting
this is
story.
my quitting story.
Tell us.
Yeah. Okay, so being at PSAV is like, I was making like shit money,
Mm-hmm.
and then I like for the year after, I was in La Jolla at a hotel, and I moved to a hotel in Mission Bay,
Mm-hmm.
and every like 6 months I was like, hey, can
Side note: David did, audio visual stuff for like a hotel.
yeah, it's
of
like
business, so-
you're like a third party vendor, but you have like a home
In case you were
property.
like he was living out of a hotel
No.
room. What?
No,
There you
I
go.
do AV for hotels before I do what I do now, which is basically almost the same thing.
But just to get everybody up to speed. There you go.
So I wasn't happy with how much money I was making. I was like, oh, every like 6 months I would check out like other job positions within the company, and I would apply for them. But you have to tell your boss that you're applying so he can be okay with it.
That's kind of weird.
Well, it's like a transfer, so he has to sign off on it.
I understand for them to like prepare
Yeah.
for your departure.
So every time I did that, he'd be like, "Hey, what's going on? Like, are you not having?" It's like, "Well, yeah, I want more money. I want more responsibility." So
gonna give it to me?
So then, like, he'd be like, "Okay, well, we can't give you the title, but can I give you a raise?" So, like, I made like $3 raise within a year just doing that. Then my boss quit, and they brought someone else in. It's when we bought another AV company. PSAV buys companies like crazy, almost to the point where it's illegal.
like Pokemon cards,
Monopoly.
collecting.
Monopoly. And then a new boss came in, and right away I was like, "Hey, I want, I want a promotion." But I waited like a month to show him like how good I
like,
was.
I got good work
Like I can do
ethic.
this morning stuff. I did a really good job. So then I was like, "Hey, I'm trying to transfer," and then he's like, "Oh, why can't I just promote you to that here?" And I was like, "Cool." It's still like, working my way like up, trying to make more money as fast as possible. And then I got this job at UCSD, and I was like, "Oh, well, I don't fucking care about this job anymore." And like, there's nothing they can do to keep me because they could not afford.
They couldn't keep up.
Just because like I hadn't even been at the company for 2 years. So it's like there's no way they'd be like, well, we can make you a senior tech. And it's like they just couldn't like under 2 years.
It wasn't competitive enough with what
Yeah.
they were offering. So.
But at the time, like a month, 2 months before, I was like, I want you to send me to the Bayfront, which is a hotel in downtown, but it's like currently the second biggest ballroom. They have like 20 fucking rooms to do AV. Like it's crazy. Like the crew is like 20 people. Like, and I wanted to get there because it's the more you do, the bigger shows, the better you look, the more you learn. And I had like, hey, can you transfer me here? Can you transfer me here? And he's like, he was so much different because he's like, I want to help you get to where you want to go. Like, I get like you're a good worker, but like, I understand you need to grow. So that was awesome. So I kept nagging him for like a month straight. And then I was like, hey, Dan, can I come talk to you? This was like the Monday after I got called about having the job. And I was like, hey, here's my 2 weeks notice. Like, he was like, oh man, I thought this was about like going to the Bayfront. Because he's like, oh, like if you gave me like another week or two, I could probably get you there. And I was like, oh, I'm done with this job.
You set him straight, man.
I mean, you always want to leave on good terms. Not always. Like, I get people that don't want to leave on good terms because you're treated like shit. But Dan,
rule of thumb,
he was a good boss, and he cared about the crew and wanted to be happy. He actually made a couple of us like promoted up, and he like, it was like a weird like shaved beard. Like, we weren't allowed to have facial hair unless the hotel was okay with it. And then we're like, the hotel, everyone has facial hair, like as long as it's like clean cut, like nice looking. Groomed. And he's like, oh, go ahead. And then everyone that would come to our hotel and be like, what's up with the beard? It's like, oh, they let us here. And then we started this whole like revolution where like they voted on it in like Orange County, and they're like, okay, everyone's allowed to, but they made some stupid rules. But yeah, that was my quitting story.
It's funny. I remember you telling me about that as it was happening.
I'm almost 4 years later, still at that job.
A little bit removed at this point.
Yeah, I've been at this job way longer.
Yeah.
Okay. This is 13. Do you know any workaholics? What makes them work so much?
I mean, David, I would say you're a bit of a workaholic.
I would agree with that. At work, I'm a workaholic. But I have learned to maybe hold it back a little bit. A lot of people at work describe my work as it's not about the journey, it's about the destination. So it's efficiency. Like, I don't need to do this twice. I don't need to do this 3 times.
We get it, David. You're a robot.
Yeah,
work robot.
I do work a lot, and I'm okay with it. But coming home, like doing all this,
which is like a second job.
It's like a second job, but we do it because it's fun. We do it because it's creative. But it's still like, it needs to be well done. So how much work can I put into it?
Well, I mean, that's your creative.
Yeah, and it's fun. Like, it's not, but it is like a addicting thing to like.
I was like, well, let's take a step back. Beer me that beer. Though we consider it casual, like a fun thing we do, it's like we keep a pretty rigorous schedule with releasing stuff and everything. Yeah. So,
I mean, if you look at all the good YouTubers who have grinded for years and years and years, and now are like super popular, like there's a couple years where they just make videos nonstop to only have 10, 20 views,
which is crazy.
And then then they finally get popular.
Yeah, something clicks. But like, even just this podcast, like we meet weekly, do this week to week. I'm like, and we live kind of close, not that close.
We could live closer.
And
Sam's job is closer to me than it is to Sam.
I work down the street from David, but I also work like 20 odd miles from where I live.
Yeah. So. Farther. It's like 30.
It's like 25.
It's like, because you cut into Vista. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like 25 to 30-ish on a good day.
Damn.
But yeah. But we do it because it's fun.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But yeah, I would agree with I am a workaholic. But that's a little bit of I wouldn't say pride, but I like looking good. I like doing a good job. I like
You like the praise.
The feedback praise. I guess so. It doesn't have to be praised, but I want it to look good so people know it was me.
Like, I like to look good, but, having people not know that I'm trying real hard to look good.
Yeah. I mean, at this job, it's now like, and I keep telling my bosses, like, I mean, I can do just about everything. There's probably like 1 or 2 things that I could like work a little bit, but I can like do it myself, and confidently I can probably do every aspect to my job by myself. And most of the time it's like, oh, I don't like, oh yeah, I could use another person, but I'd rather do it myself, and not just because I'm always in the room learning the show and I can do it. But I guess it's pride looking like how an artist looks at their work. It's like, oh, it's not good enough. It's like, no, it's my work is good enough, and I want people to know it. Might be a little arrogant too,
Yeah, I could see that.
but my work also like is for other people, so it's pretty selfless.
I mean, you say that.
I mean, being production
The
people is
results of
super
your
selfless.
work.
All the praise that I can get doesn't amount to the praise that the artist gets.
Yours is like behind the scenes praise. Well, that's the nature of your work, though.
Yeah, which is fine.
Yeah. Whereas
You are not a workaholic.
I pride myself in my okay.
I would say you're like the sloth of a workaholic.
I'm a sloth in general, but like, okay, I don't know if I said this before, but and this might sound negative, it's not. I treat work like I treat prison. I like to do my time,
Do your time.
and go. But like when I'm there, I'll do whatever you ask within reason. Don't make me do something ridiculous that I'm like, that sounds weird to me. But like I'm there when I'm there. But then when I'm off, I don't think about it at all.
Yeah. No, I get that. And I think that inhibits you to have a healthy life, though.
So some people
Yeah.
live to work. I work to live.
Yeah.
Which generally just translates to me just like sitting on a couch somewhere.
I have like almost that, but not. It's like, because if someone calls me from work asking for help, I like have to help them because I want them to have a good show. And it's not like that is I think to me that's my selflessness a little bit, because I could care less about their show, but they're my coworker. I want them to do good.
You care about them.
I want the team, especially our part-timers. Like it's usually the part-timers because they're like, they don't get to be in the rooms as much as we do. So it's like a little hard for them to remember, or like they'll be at Mandeville, like at the auditorium for like a month straight and then come back and be like, how do I do this? Which is a little different because, I'm there and I've learned everything and I'm constantly there. So I always tell them, like, when they're doing a show and it's like in my hall or I'm like, just call me if you need anything. And 9 times out of 10, they'll call me and I'll be like at a brewery.
Right.
I'll be like, let me go outside really quick. And I'll just help them through. Yeah. And, I can almost always help them through or find out like a different way to solve their problem.
That's good, man. I will say I am willing to help like anyone on my team, but it is by design that I work the job I work because it is it's a little more like you have to be there in person to kind of work kind of thing. But like if someone calls with like a question about a thing, I'm like, I'm more than happy to answer. But like that job is like, it's not like there's not like an extra layer of commitment that I would have to do. It'd be like, it's just like a quick like 5-second phone call. And he was like, oh, where's this and this? And I'm like, oh, it's over here. And I'm like, okay, cool.
I'll say it. I am more than willing to help the production team, but anyone else that's part of the music department, no.
Oh, yeah, no.
I will not help anyone. You can send me an email that doesn't really involve production. I won't answer it. After hours, won't answer it till tomorrow.
Yeah. No, like my immediate team. Like it's only like a handful of people.
Yeah.
Even then,
our team right now is like 4. Kind of 5, but it used to be 9. And then our student crew too, like 30 something people.
You guys got a lot of people.
We only hire a lot because it's to help us fill the windows because we don't schedule anyone.
I mean, you do work for the school too, so it's like
I'm totally fine hiring students as long as they're there to work.
I'm just saying, like, you guys. I mean, pre-COVID and post-COVID, I'm like, you guys host a lot of stuff, so I'm like, you guys probably have a lot of heads.
It's just you've got to because. It's the scheduling part. Like, if we could have like a set schedule, we probably wouldn't need that many, but we would need people to be open all the time. But they're students, so we can. All right. You want to read the next one? 14?
All right. Dude, we got to coast, man.
It's only 35. Yeah. We're almost there.
14. Some companies use a flexible time system and employees can work hours that suit their lifestyles. What do you think about this?
Not every job can do this, obviously.
Most jobs can't.
Because it's based on when like the standard, and that's just how like service jobs. It gets pretty busy from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock, right? 3 to 6 happy hour, late happy hour. 7 to 11. My job, like shows happen at a set time, 6 or 7 in the afternoon. So you can't really. Oh no, I'm not going to do that. But admin-ish jobs, I think maybe if there's like not a set hour.
It really just depends on the nature of the job, because I mean that's a great idea, especially to the benefit of the worker or the employee or whatever. Because like who wouldn't want a schedule that works for you rather than like you're like a slave to like set hours?
Yeah,
because that sounds awesome. That like
and like it also like. I think those kind of flexible jobs are also based on geographical locations because, like a company like Google has teams that are separated by, hey, UK, India, Japan, America. So you kind of have to be super flexible to even get a meeting in.
Right. But yeah, also like you just say for like your example, your beer, your example for Google, like that's a technical kind of job.
Yeah. So you could be flexible because it's like, oh, well, I'll update the server right now. Does it really need to happen? Yeah. Not Google has hundreds and thousands of servers that probably don't, one can be down.
Yeah. Like I know, I'm sure they like Google has probably like millions of people in office, but I'm sure there are positions that are like, that would work remotely that like you have that flexibility available to you. But like,
I think this question is super important now. Like we're going almost into post-COVID.
This is pretty relevant right now because a lot of people I know like a lot of businesses are playing around with like almost like home, experimental like work setups for people and whatnot, and like people are like they're coming in on Zoom calls and everything, and like they're like doing stuff remote and everything. So, I think. I don't know. People are getting like firsthand experience.
Yeah.
So,
and not by choice.
Not by choice. It's more like you're getting your arm twisted.
How can you adapt as quickly? But yeah, like working from home, flexible hours. Like, I mean, schools, people with kids, and I like can't ever be as show my empathy towards that because I just don't want kids. I don't ever want to have kids, and I don't have kids, so I don't know exactly how.
You can show empathy. You just wouldn't relate.
I just don't understand it.
Yeah, you just can't relate because you're like, that's not my situation.
And then like there's like meetings and HR's like, well, I mean, you can take care of your kid, like help them, and then for an hour, and then just come back for another hour at work, and it's like, I mean, it's mostly dead space right now. It's summer still. But when school starts, it might be a little different. But I think if you're at home and you're not actually doing 8 hours of work, it's okay to answer an email after your time ends, especially if it's not that hard.
Well, David, I will say, rather than just generalize, I'm going to generalize and say, it's like we don't know people's situations. It could be a household.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's okay to go away from work to take care of your household.
Right.
But it's also okay to like answer an email after hours.
I'll say
because you took a break. Especially, I think I'm more like, hey, you should be working because the state's paying us. So it's you and my taxes. Let's make it worth it. And I just because I think. Like taxes are terrible. They're needed, but they should be used responsibly. That money is going somewhere, and like if mistakes are made, then there should be some sort of punishment.
Rather than renovate a broken road on a street that nobody goes to,
or the city of San Diego buys a building that's full of asbestos and cancer-inducing chemicals.
I'll say, like, I agree with you that, like, I don't know if that's what it is, but it should be that because it's businesses. They're I
know my current situation, it's like that. It's okay to do that,
right?
Because people understand that daycares are gone, so you kind of have to sit at home and do 2 jobs.
My point being, I think, like, I know it's not all of them, but like businesses in general should just be a little patient with people because like they're navigating all this stuff at home with like their private lives and everything, and like you should just like show a little empathy and be like, okay, I understand. Like, I'm expecting a quick answer, but I know you have some stuff, so like I'll bear with it because I know you will try eventually. So
we have like a little rule, like emergencies should like 15 minutes. Just answer 15 minutes. Even say, hey, let me get back to you.
yeah.
That's pretty easy, especially with all our phones. Like, I know Google has like that little like, let me get back. Like, it has like options when you start typing a message on your phone and on the computers. Like it'll do like an auto like, oh, I'm not sure. I don't know. Like, it's awesome because I can just click that and be like, send, done. But like for the most part, it's like if it takes an hour to get back, no one's fucking having a heart attack.
Yeah. And I don't think, I mean, unless you're working for like a medical unit or something, I don't think anything is so urgent
And
that like,
God bless our
our
frontline workers. Thank you to everyone.
especially right now with like,
I mean,
COVID
it's
and
like,
half of California on
it's
fire.
like not like like when, like if you get COVID, but when you get COVID. and our firefighters is like not if you get sleep, but maybe when
Maybe you
you can take a nap on the sidewalk.
like nap on the sidewalk with your jacket for a pillow. Yeah.
Like, God bless you. Thank you. I mean, not even God. No, God bless you. Bless you.
We're thankful for you.
I am thankful for them.
Very
All right.
thankful.
Did you read that one? Yeah. 15.
Thank you.
Are there jobs that men do better than women do? How about vice versa?
Sperm donor.
I mean,
That is definitely a job.
there are egg
Men
donors too.
can do better.
We can't be surrogates.
Well, I'll say that
Surrogates.
they're parallels.
Yeah, surrogates.
Well, can we though? No, you're probably right.
No,
I
mean,
really doubt
it's
it.
not what that
I very
Arnold
much doubt
Schwarzenegger
it.
movie or something.
Larry, I need my Larry. I can't. That was a terrible.
What movie was that? Surrogate?
No,
Was
it was
called Surrogate?
Mr. Mom.
Oh,
no.
yeah.
Is that the Michael Keaton one?
Mrs.
I can't remember.
Yeah,
I just remember-
he had a baby, right?
It's
yeah.
him. Is it Danny DeVito or is that just twins?
That's twins. But I think
can't
they did
remember.
another one together.
It might have been that
But
one.
it was Arnold who was pregnant for sure. Yeah,
It's weird.
As a movie, joking aside, yes. Biologically, I think men are different. I mean, it's not. It's a proven fact. It's and yes, I think there are some jobs that men can do better, but there are jobs women can do better. I know most men don't have the patience to deal with some terrible people, but there are some men that can do that.
And vice versa.
There are some women who can deal with aggression, but also can't.
I will say
It goes back to like growing up and learning how you are and experiences. But biologically, yes, there are some jobs. I would say like a labor, construction.
yeah.
But
I would say that like there are generally interchangeable because people are different. Some people could be more geared to one thing than another thing, but like I would say like the only like hard set things I would say like are jobs that are like totally biologically dependent on like whatever your body is.
and I don't know if science has gone that far because there are like transgender surgeries. I don't know if it's gone to the far where you can actually make a woman to a man and have reproductive organs, or at least working, or like I have no
to
knowledge of
research.
that. But
We'd
if
have to
someone
research
wants
or know somebody.
if someone wants
Yeah.
to comment on that or email us and tell us, we would love to know.
Enlighten us.
Link it.
That is outside of our purview, and that is interesting information.
Actually,
So,
it would be like how
Yeah, I would be like.
how would you make
Yeah.
Because like, and this is gonna be stupid. Like every time like a penis is just like a pushed up. If you push it up, it's kind of a vagina, and the testicles are the ovaries.
Right.
I mean, it's just like
Okay,
the
follow.
reverse, right? Kind of like even. Like,
mean,
almost looks like it too.
I don't. This is way outside of
But
my
like,
knowledge.
I was
so-
like, I mean, if science can like rebuild like a football player's fucking ACL, and then being able to go fucking put pressure on it, being a kneecap, destroyed survivor, like, are we there yet?
I mean, like, that's pretty
We're-
wild.
we're going
That's a
way off
wild
topic.
thought, but yeah. But we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, but yes, there are jobs. It's fine. We are different. People are different, but we shouldn't be paid differently because of it. I'll say that.
Totally agree.
Female athletes should not be paid
No.
less than
I would
male
say-
athletes. Anyone, your gender shouldn't.
Your
Shouldn't-
pay should not
yeah.
be dependent on your gender. It should be dependent on your work ethic.
Yeah, how you work, your skill. Like, are you a
Right.
shitty worker, good worker? Yes or no? It's
Yeah.
that easy.
Your skill and your work ethic.
That's why I think hiring should be completely anonymous.
It should be.
I actually did a training where it's like,
Blind interviews.
well, there was a training where it's like, oh, you should technically, like, to not, like, have any bias, you shouldn't even know, like, who that person is. You should have a blank resume, no name, no nothing, just, like,
It
where
should
they
be.
went to school, like,
It should be like like those blind dating reality shows where it's like separate rooms and then put a voice modulator on one.
I would even, yeah.
like you're
yeah.
like you're courting them.
I think the point was, like, you have a separate person who knows it, but they're not involved in the hiring at
Yeah.
all.
It's like they're there to kind of gauge where you're at. So like, so what'd you think about that person?
And
then
like
they
being
give you their thoughts.
in a like a work field that's dominated by men, I would would make it my like mission to hire more women, because most of the time I think I can work with women more. And it was funny, like 2 years ago we hired like a student crew. We hire every year. We hire like 20 people, and I was like, whoa, we have like 15 women. And I was like, this is great. This is awesome, because it's like they were all like super skilled. Like, oh, I did theater here, theater there. I did audio here. Oh, I'm a seamstress. Like, oh my God, people are going to fucking love you at like Mandeville. And then one of our older senior techs wasn't there. She's not there anymore. She retired. She's like, we need some guys, because we need like to lift up, 100-pound speakers. I was like, I mean, I can try, but like if they're like their resume doesn't look good, if I don't feel that like they're gonna work hard, then what's the point? Especially like with
then you just got a mule.
yeah. Anyways,
That may or may not work.
yeah. Anyways, you want to read the next one?
Let me
16.
16. Some jobs, like president of a country, are powerful, but come with a lot of responsibility. How do you handle responsibility? Do you want more?
I always want more. That's just me.
David, you have a hungry personality.
I mean, I want more. I want to get good at it, and then it's always like the next level to me.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you?
That's hunger, man. Yes, the
Next
next level. You're an idiot.
No, I just have that like drive. I guess it's more of a drive. Like I want to get good. I want to learn everything I can, and then what's next? What's next? We had at my old company. I was like, one of our technical directors was like, anytime someone comes up to me and says, "Hey, we done yet?" I tell them to go home. But if someone comes up to me and says, "Hey, what's next?" I'm gonna hire them. I want them for my next show, because I know they're trying. They're like, hey,
They're
let's keep going.
motivated.
Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. And I always like, oh man, I totally understand that. I want what's next. But yeah, I always want more responsibility. How do I handle it? You got to learn it, man. You're going to fuck up. It's okay. You're going to make mistakes with that responsibility. But guess what? Everyone makes mistakes. It's okay to mess up. How your boss, understands that, it's up to them. You can have a shitty boss, you can have a great boss, but you as a person have the only power to control how you feel, how you grow.
You have to be a self-starter.
I wouldn't say self-starter.
Not necessarily a starter, but you have to know how to motivate yourself to do things.
Like, do you we'll go as basic as learning beer. Do you want to learn what beer is? Yes,
Kind
then
of.
Go. Go look at a wiki page about lager. Read what a lager is once a day, and then the next day, I guess that kind of is a self-starter.
See, I make a good point. Let me see.
I just don't like that word.
It sounds very self-helpish.
It sounds like very no, because I see it on resumes, and it's like, we're not going to pay you, but you need to be a self-starter.
It's a very corporate kind
please
of worded thing.
pay me.
Yeah.
You.
Like self-starter, you sound cheap. It makes you sound cheap.
If you're not going to pay me, is it even worth doing that? Is this stupid fucking...
Is this actually a job, or is this a charity?
Scam. Yeah, how do you handle responsibility? Do you want more?
So, not necessarily. I'm gonna expand this beyond work. but if it's an interest I have and I am motivated to do things and like I'm working with a group, of course I'm gonna want responsibility because I'm like okay, this is where I'll kind of land it with David if it's something I'm interested in and be like, yeah, I want the end result to be great. So I'm like, that's like a motivator, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do my part to do whatever I can to make this thing as good as it can be.
Yeah.
Having said that, doesn't necessarily apply to work because, I mean, I'm
Your
not
job
the
isn't-
most
You're not
interested.
passionate about your job.
No, I
But
enjoy.
no, that doesn't mean you're
Yeah.
not a good worker.
No,
I'm just
like,
saying you have
yeah.
that you don't
It's
go
a-
home and fucking learn how to do stuff.
There's a
for-
distinction
yeah.
between
Which
like
is fine.
Yeah.
You know, people who like have more money usually hate their fucking.
This
job.
this is why I'm here, David, to contrast you with your workaholic, I love my job mindset.
I mean, I don't love my job. I like the work I do.
You enjoy,
which is different.
You're in a field that you
that I
like.
Yeah, the different from your work and your job
Yeah.
are different things.
I'm like for my job, the anchor is I like the people. Not necessarily the job is fine.
Yeah,
I don't want to enjoy
it. Hard.
It at times, mostly because there's curveballs sometimes where it's like
I need a
I'm
thousand.
like oh, it's a thing beyond like what I do every day. It's like I don't have like
I can't do that. Don't bother me.
I don't
Yeah.
have like immediate like just knowledge. Like I'm like, oh, this is a weird thing you asked for that I don't deal with normally. I'm like, I'm gonna have to ask somebody,
Yeah.
or I'm going off the seat of my pants.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it could be good or it might not. I really hope it's good.
And you have like physical resources to deal with too.
Yeah, and you also have to like talk to a lot of people, which is
I'm
not
fine with that.
ideal for me.
I'm fine with that. All right.
fine.
So there's a break in the print discussion. There's like two sets of questions that come out.
wait. We didn't hit 17.
Oh, that's you.
But
huh?
one more. No,
That's you.
I read the
Oh.
last one.
17, sorry. If every job paid the same amount of money, which job would you prefer to do?
The communist regime.
It's not really communist. That's not
Socialist.
How
The
communism
socialist
works. That's not how
regime.
socialism works either.
The one where everybody does the same thing for the same amount.
I don't know.
No,
if
the
there's a
same
word for
amount.
that.
I don't know.
Because communism and socialism is not that.
All right. Well, then, speaking as an uneducated idiot, okay, just answer the question. How about that?
I would like to be a brewer.
Really?
It's kind of like my more dreamish.
That's like your dream job.
If I got paid the same to be a brewer, I'd be fine with it.
I mean, if every job paid the same. I mean, like, I don't think couch potato is an actual job.
Streamer.
They're synonymous. It's the same.
Not
there's
that streamers
work.
don't fucking work. I'm just saying, but they do.
Uh-huh.
Really, just they
It's a-
sit in the chair.
it's
but you
a
gotta
couch
have,
potato
you
with
gotta
extra
have, You got to be
steps.
an actor. You got to have that fucking
Yeah,
drive.
I don't have that dynamic of a personality to keep people interested.
Scream personality. You have a personality. You don't have a scream personality.
I have
Just start
shades.
blurring his face out.
I have shades of a personality.
I think you just go to your safe place too many times.
Well, I think basically this song of a question.
Stop.
Shut up. This question, it basically
Chicken
just says
Harley
like, you're like, if everything you ever wanted to do amounted to the same as anything else, it's like, it sounds like this is a dream job kind of question to me.
Okay. If every job was paid $45,000 a year,
Fuck.
what job would you want to do?
Well, so obviously it's going to be the thing that you imagine yourself doing, or
What can I do? I mean, I would be fine making $45,000 a year if I just streamed every day.
ice cream taste tester.
That's not
No,
bad.
I
You'd
probably-
be so fucking fat.
Probably a musician. Or
Because let's be honest, that is a lot of steady income for a musician.
that would be a lot of steady income.
Yeah.
But when factored in with everybody else making that amount, it's still a steady income.
Also, this is not economical. Like,
Yeah.
oh well, that's not going to work because blah blah blah. Shut your mouth.
If
this is really the perfect system, because then there wouldn't be any. All our taxes are the same. Mm-hmm. All our money is the same. Mm-hmm. Well, I went to school too. No, school's free.
It is.
Don't worry. Fucking
it has
worry
no
about
bearing
that.
on anything.
Don't fucking worry about that.
It's just like, you hit working age You could do anything, and it doesn't matter. It all plays the same. Actually, if I'm totally honest, if it wasn't musician, I would say I want to be a B-movie sci-fi actor, so I can die.
Nice. Actor would actually be good because that's steady income.
Like,
versus
I don't even have to be good. Like, I just want to be like in the next like.
What's that movie with the frisbees? Like,
My phone fell.
the frisbee is like a bunch of. It's like a death frisbee, and he throws it back.
And the kid on the beach, the guy on the beach
like
catches it in his
something.
hand. Yeah. I know the one you're talking about. No,
action. Fuck.
I know the one.
Something like super action movie or something.
But it's an old one. But like, I want to be like, I want to be like the guy that gets shot holding the trash can in that Silent Night, Deadly Night movie, and he's like
super
garbage
terrible.
Day, and he shoots him.
No! It's like 15 shotgun blasts.
Yeah. I want to be an extra in a movie that dies every time, and then I'll be like the new Sean Bean, where I just die in every movie.
Such a good actor too.
He's. I think he does that by choice. He's like, I want to pick a serious role where I will die dramatically.
He probably has like a clause, like, if you're gonna put me in this role, I have to die.
95% of my roles, I have to die.
I have to be amazing, dead.
Yeah, give me a meaty role where I die horrifically, please.
All right, so yeah, cool. All right, so now we go into a split. So there's 3 questions each, but we're not going to answer.
So there's 3 questions each and 2 categories. There is 1 category for people who are not working, and the second category for people who work. So
We're doing the second one.
We're skipping the first one.
So go ahead.
For people who work, what is the atmosphere like at your workplace?
And I'll go to my production team.
So why wouldn't you?
Well, because we work in a hallway with everyone, so.
But like the people you see the most.
I mean, in the hallway, I see them all.
In the
atmosphere, I guess, is a pretty buddy. I would say old school because production or doing shows or building shows it doesn't change. Mm-hmm. You know, the gear change, but the people don't. You put your head down and work. So we have fun. You know, talk shit. You know. We like doing jokes that, you know, may not be politically correct. But it's within us, you know, we're not bashing people. Mm-hmm. But, you know, that's why I say old school. Like, you know, it's hard work, but it's always fun with people.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. I'd say at our workplace, it's quiet generally. So like our department, it's a small department, and we're all generally pretty chill, and like, you know, like stuff will come in on the email. Like our job is pretty dependent on like our incoming email feed.
Input.
Yeah. So it's like it's either feast or famine. So it's like we're generally pretty chill, and like everyone's like calm for the most part, unless like. Because I work in a larger office, like if like anything from like the surrounding bits of the office comes in with like any bits of urgency, then it's like there's a certain pressure involved where it's like, oh, stuff needs to get done, or from like one of the other satellite offices, like we might get something in which requires a little more like immediate attention.
Help!
Yeah, like my coworkers and stuff, we all have like a generally pretty good relationship, and like we can work with each other. So it's like, it's not really that interesting.
We can work with, I'm the same way. It's like, you know, we can do work with each other. We can go get a beer. We can go hang out, but it's not like we're best friends.
So I'll say I have at least one.
You have your work
one
wife.
team member. Yeah, no, my work sister.
You want to marry your sister?
No.
I'm joking.
Oh my gosh, Linda, I'm sorry. No, and the rest I'm like casually cool.
Podcast?
No, but I might show this to her.
Yeah,
so.
work. All right, me, right?
I think so.
If you went to university, is your job related to the subject you study? If not, what was the point of going to university? Yes, it was.
It's gonna be a quick
I can't answer that second question.
I did not. So
you went. Like couple classes?
I took 2 years and a half of community college.
And we're not saying anything about not going to school, not like it's your life.
Yeah.
Not
I'm going to
everyone
say
needs it.
So I mean, like, you know, I just did it because knowing myself, like, especially at this point in my life, I'm like, stuff could go any way, and like, especially with like, I don't know, I've never been really the best student because I have trouble focusing in class, and post high school, like anything like college, university level, it's like everything costs money now. So I'm like, I don't really want to put money into a thing where I'm not even sure if it's gonna.
I mean, you don't have like 4-digit debt. I do.
So yeah, I'm like there are pros and cons. Like, I don't have an insane amount of student debt that is like hitched to my hip or anything like that. But like, then I also don't have like a degree to show any future employers. It's just I have to go off of my face and personality.
I'm paying like $500 to $600 a month though.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, you're not doing that, but you're also not making $500 to $600 more than me.
That is true. Yeah. So
it's like it almost evens out a little bit
until the point you pay your off,
and I'm in the future. Like long term, it's probably a great. I mean, we're not saying don't get your degree. Get your degree. Do what you want.
This is another thing. Yeah. This is another point of contrast for us. So for anyone listening,
yin and yang.
You've got the educated route and you've got the simpleton.
I mean, my education has been tarnished because they were doing some illegal stuff, and they're closed down now.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And they've been sold.
But that's behind you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was years before, and I love my education. I love my teachers. And because of all my teachers, I am very good at what I do.
And on my part, not to say I'm not trying to be the poster boy for like, oh, don't go to school, you'll be a success, because I'm definitely not.
Because then like the opposite of that is like technical school.
Yeah,
but like, you didn't really do that either.
I haven't done that either. I've just kind of been just going from place to place, and like it's just kind of been working out, at least to like be comfortable. Yeah. No. Which is like, it really just depends where you want to be in life. And at this point in my life, I'm comfortable, so I don't feel that pressure necessarily
to like do a lot of stuff. Off, so give us your money.
Please. I have no future
we
with
can
it.
Buy a house together and be like the Try Guys. But we would be way more hardcore than the Try Guys.
No, like if I could do this 24/7,
the house would burn down.
Content would be insane.
Oh my God. We'd buy so many 4K cameras, so many amazing mics. Mm-hmm. We would have a Beard Me That Beer session every week where we just jam.
It'd be fucking disgusting.
Dude, you guys are missing out. Give us your money. No. All right, next question?
Yeah. Anyway, just, college or not, just
this next
do what
question's
you want.
Good. Is it me?
Is it you? Is it me? Hold on.
You did that. It's me.
It is you.
Yeah. What is the dress code at your company? How strict is it? So
what is the dress code at your company?
I guess it's kind of like semi-business, but Jessica. Okay, so when I first got the job there, like the first thing I asked was like, "Do you have a grooming policy?"
Of course you would.
I didn't have a beard there. I had like 5 o'clock shadow,
but
I wanted to grow it out, and my boss was like, "I don't care how you look as long as you don't smell."
Hey man, that is the lowest of low bars.
I mean, I kind of like agree with that because it's like I don't really care how you look. I don't really care how you dress as long as it's comfortable and safe, because our job, you really need to be safe, because like sandals, when carrying heavy shit, you're going to break your fucking toe.
Disagree, but continue.
Do you want me to drop a 50-pound speaker on your toe?
I mean, like, is like this much fabric between your toe and not that much of a difference? Or do you have to wear steel toe boots?
I wouldn't say steel toe boots, but clothes.
Shoe does not make that much of a difference.
Yeah, it will.
I doubt it.
It will.
Nope.
Yep.
Continue.
100%.
Continue, David. We're at odds.
I know.
Just fucking talk.
I know.
Speak your piece.
So yeah. And I always like our boss's boss. She's like, "Oh, David's wearing shorts again." And then my boss would say, "Well, he's walking around a lot, moving a lot. Like, he needs to be comfortable." So I wear a lot of shorts at work because I'm fucking walking 25,000 steps a day, lifting shit, setting lights up.
Noise.
But there is a dress policy when you are in your show. So I mean, all black. Black jeans, black shirt. Polo. I have like the same black shirt I've worn for the past like 8 years.
Have you washed it?
Yeah. Oh, I wash it like every week. Come on. No, but it's like a Walmart
Just a cheap like
what the
$10
fuck is that
tee
company called?
at Hanes.
No, it's not Hanes. It's like it's
Fruit
like
by the Loom.
no, it's a fancy.
Oh, fancy.
It's a fancy Walmart dress shirt. Miguel or something, Michaels or something. It's got the name on it, but I have the same shirt and I wear like skinny black jeans and I put like black dress shoes on, which I don't mind because it's actually like the preferred thing because then people don't notice you as much. You kind of blend into the ambiance of the show. But when I'm building a show, I'm wearing shorts and a shirt and getting sweaty. If I have if I know I have an easy day, then I'll probably wear some like a regular. I'll wear this shirt with black pants. So there kind of is, kind of isn't. I think UCSD has like this, well, we can't tell you what to wear because they're very open about
policy,
accommodating people to how they feel, which is amazing. But my PSAV job, fucking dress shirt, dress pants, dress shoes, digging fucking holes in the beach, like no matter what. But then it kind of changed. We're like, oh, we're going to get you nice polos. And they did sport polos. Like nice, breathable. If you're going to tell someone to wear like fancy clothing and do like really labor intensive work, give them like a nice, breathable polo, please. That's all I got to say to that.
It's nice. My work, so granted, it's a little lax right now because there's a little bit of oversight happening because I don't have a lot of the time, like any on staff.
Yeah.
Like supervisors. So I'm skirted by with like shorts and like
But normally.
So like on a given work day that is like not crisis, it's like bare minimum is like semi-formal. So like anything beyond like a nice like polo and like some dress pants, like some slacks or like dress pants and like closed-toed shoes, like you're fine. Like,
I mean, like
I dress like I play golf when I go to work, so
I was like, oh, dress pants, and now I just wear black skinny jeans because they're black, and it really you can't tell the difference because now they have like those slim fit dress pants, and to me they just look exactly the same because in our like venues the lights are never at 100%, so you can't actually see really the detail.
I mean, and plus you like there's lighting stuff happening at your work, so it's like you're probably working in the shade anyway.
I mean, most of the time people don't see me.
Yeah, you're in the back.
No, I'm
out of view.
You're out of walls. View. I do my rounds, but with the beard, no one notices the pants.
You round your beard?
All right, next question is you. Last question. Here we go. Thank you for listening. Yeah, work part 2. Last question.
We're not there yet.
Is it?
Does your boss expect you to work overtime? How often does this happen?
Every job I've worked I always have expected to work overtime, and I'm fine with it because it means more money.
Overtime is as an idea is great.
Yeah.
Unless it's mandatory.
I'm actually okay with it being mandatory because then it's
You're okay.
But overtime is not great when you just do a little bit. If you're doing overtime every day, then it's awesome because it just like, oh, I'm gonna make so much money. But if you do like 2 hours of overtime, it's really not worth it. Like fit it into something else. I'm always expected to do overtime. Shows start at 7. There could be rehearsals at 12. So I'm literally at work, halfway through the show. Oh, I just did my 8 hours and I still have 3 hours to go. I'm fine with it. I guess because my job's not super hard, or at least to me, it's not super hard. I'm able bodily to do it, and I don't really it doesn't really hit me to get tired until like I'm at home. But I could like a service job doing overtime. I could see that being very difficult because you're always on your feet, and I'm not always on my feet. I'm sometimes in a chair for like an hour. During the show, I'm on a chair for half an hour, then I go do a set change, half an hour chair, like ups and downs. But yeah, it's expected, and I'm okay with it. I actually enjoy it, except for my work isn't paid overtime. We have comp time, but that's like another little thing of vacation. So it is what it is.
And I'll say at my work, the opportunity for overtime is a little more sparse than David's situation. Like occasionally, like, because the nature of my work, we might have like a weekend project where my boss might ask us like a little bit in advance. It's like, oh, any volunteers willing to work like a day, like a Saturday, like, I don't know, like 7 to like noon or something like that. And then it's like kind of a first come, first serve. So
7 p.m. to noon.
7 a.m. Yeah, noon on Sunday. Yes, David. That great window of work.
7 p.m. Saturday to noon.
So I'll say
Sunday.
like for weekend work, that's kind of the situation, which is great and it's a little few and far between. So like maybe like if that, maybe like once a month we might get a thing like that, because like I work at a law firm, like maybe there'll be like a deposition and like some of the attorneys need like stuff done, like some kind of support for like some on-site thing. Otherwise, like the shift I work at my work, I am the closer. So like I'll say outside of the opener, I have the most opportunity for overtime. Well, unforeseen overtime.
Are you
so
like the last person to leave?
I'm the last person.
You
to
have
leave.
to be kind of.
The last person in our department to leave, because like they stagger our shifts, because there's like a handful of us, and they like there's someone who comes in at the open, someone comes in maybe like the next hour, and then the following hour, and so on and so on.
Yeah.
So I'm usually the last out the door, outside of whatever attorneys are working late or whatever. And like sometimes I'll get like a job, like a print request, like I don't know, like last I don't know, half an hour or so of my shift that might require like an extra like hour or so on top. There have been instances where I've had to work like 4 or 5 hours on top, which is
just waiting,
which is kind of cool.
shit.
Like, yeah, which is, come payday, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, it's
lot
nice.
of overtime is good.
Yeah.
A little bit of overtime isn't.
Because that time and a half is great, but like, okay, I'll say like a little bit of overtime if we're talking like 10 minutes to like half an hour is okay.
The tax is so shitty, then it's just not even worth it.
You say.
I say it. Yeah.
David says. I don't mind that.
Anything over 10 hours, worth it.
But like sometimes, like most of the time, like, because it's usually like during the week, if that happens, like I'm not expecting it. Sometimes I make plans during the week, and since I'm the closer, I get out a little later, which means like my social stuff, like I don't usually get to start until later. So sometimes I'll make plans like, within an hour after work. And if anything carries over, then it kind of like,
I'll see you in 3 hours.
Yeah. It kind of either pushes stuff off or I just have to cancel.
Yeah.
So like socially damaging, but like for the paycheck.
So unlike
I don't
Sam, I
mind.
don't do anything social. I come home or I go to Rock Bottom, but that's closed down. So I mean that no one's waiting for me.
So I will say
I'm not going out to hang out. And if I do, then it's like on a day that I know there's no show.
So I'm not that sociable. So like I'll say like for David's Rock Bottom, my equivalent would be like my karaoke stuff, which
It's
I've taken a major hit lately.
From Bear, right?
Yeah. Like I like
Or
so like
Indian Joe?
I like to karaoke
close,
throughout the week. So like my days would be like Wednesday and Saturday, which someone told me they started up recently at this place I go to. Not gonna go.
Want to share a mic with someone?
Not gonna go. That doesn't sound like the safest
Sanitary.
thing.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, that's something that would be like my
Also,
work
you're
day
not-
release.
I don't think that's legal.
What?
Like, you can't sing
What?
in places at all.
Is this like a Footloose scenario?
No, that's
But
just
like
that's
singing?
the easiest way to spread COVID.
I don't know, David. I haven't looked at the fine print.
Don't go. All right.
But
That was yeah.
that's overtime stuff. So
Yeah.
there we go.
So that was printdiscuss.com. Work.
They say we gotta work.
But thank you so much for listening and watching.
Keep drinking, keep listening. Beer Me That Beer is a San Diego-based craft beer YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, and podcast show.
And for more of us, check out beardmethatbeer.com. That's beardmethatbeer.com. If you want to reach out directly to us, email us at bmtbinfo@gmail.com. That's bmtbinfo@gmail.com.